John Jones wants 6 months. He wants 6 months to prepare for Aspinal. He wants 6 months. He can have them.
He's contracted to do 3 fights a year. And I think he's worked himself into a position where he should fight for a belt.
Jon Jones reportedly wants 6 months to prepare for Tom Aspinall, leaving the much-anticipated heavyweight title fight in a limbo.
John Jones wants 6 months. He wants 6 months to prepare for Aspinal. He wants 6 months. He can have them. How would I control it? How would anybody control it? John has the undisputed belt and that Tom has the interim belt. We all understand that these guys are going to fight. Now that we have that evidence, we have had November to December, December to January, January to February, February to March.
The lads are all friendly and polite, and I think he'd be good at it.
Yeah. The uncertainty surrounding the UFC heavyweight title picture continues as the highly anticipated fight between Jon Jones and Tom Aspinall remains in limbo. While fight fans eagerly await a unification bout, Jones's hesitation to sign the contract has stirred frustration among Aspinall's camp, particularly his father, Andy Aspinall. With Jones holding the undisputed title and Aspinall reigning as the interim champion, many believe it's only a matter of time before they face off. However, delays in negotiations and an unexpected demand from Jones have made the matchup increasingly uncertain. He said, "You are contracted to do 3 fights a year, and I think he's worked himself into a position where Aspinall should fight for a belt. For me, if a guy doesn't want to fight for the belt, he should vacate it. Tom isn't bothered about Jones. Jon Jones is just another body in the gym, another beat in the shower. Tom just wants to compete. He's a competitor, and as a coach, you want him to compete when he's fit. You don't want him just sitting around in the gym." Andy Aspinall has been vocal about his frustration, stating that if Jones is unwilling to defend his belt, he should relinquish it. He believes his son has done everything necessary to earn his shot at the undisputed title, and that waiting indefinitely is unfair. The delay has left the Aspinall camp in a state of uncertainty, as Tom, at the peak of his career, is eager to compete rather than remain inactive. While the British heavyweight has never been one to call out opponents unnecessarily, his father's comments suggest growing impatience with the situation.
You know, to have the fight, Tom's not bothered with fights. Jon Jones is just another body in the gym, you know. Another bum in the shower, they say, don't they? It just is. He just wants to compete. He's a competitor.
Yeah.
And as a coach, you want him competing when he's fit. You don't want him sitting around in the gym. You don't know whether they're ready or not. You don't know what level they're going to be at. You know, I just want him to compete. He wants to compete all the time. So hopefully they'll sort something out. I don't know what's holding it up.
Meanwhile, reports indicate that Jones is demanding a 6-month training camp before stepping into the octagon against Aspinall. Ariel Helwani has confirmed these claims, stating that Jones wants half a year to prepare once the fight is officially locked in. This request, if granted, would push the fight to at least September, making a summer showdown increasingly unlikely. The timing issue has sparked criticism from some fans and analysts, with many questioning why the reigning champion needs such an extensive training period when he has already been out of action for over a year.
I saw that a couple of sites, I think it was Happy Punch and another, ran with the 6-month thing that I said yesterday. No, they ran with it yesterday and I said it last week, more than a week ago. I don't know how that came up. Listen, I tell you guys what I know. And we all know that they want to make the fight. We all know that Aspinall is in. And I don't need to be some kind of insider to tell you this. He has said it himself. We all know that he's meeting with the brass this week in London. We know that Jon Jones is in at a certain price. We believe that price is in the vicinity of $30 million.
Among those ridiculing Jones's demand is former UFC fighter Chael Sonnen, who has openly mocked the delay. He finds it strange that Jones is asking for 6 months of preparation without clearly defining when that timeline would even begin. Sonnen believes this is simply another example of Jones dragging out negotiations rather than actively working toward making the fight happen.
Jon Jones wants 6 months. He wants 6 months to prepare for Aspinall. He wants 6 months. He can have them. How would I control it? How would anybody control it? John has the undisputed belt and that Tom has the interim belt. We all understand that these guys are going to fight. Now that we have that evidence, we have had November to December, December to January, January to February, February to March. We've got 4 months. If John needs 6 months to train for Aspinall, how much does he still need? Did he take a couple weeks off? Did he take a whole month off? For heaven's sakes, did he take the whole time off? It's been 4.5 months since that fight. Did he not train with Aspinall in mind? Did he not full well know the undisputed champion was going to take on the interim champion? What do you mean you need 6 months? 6 months starting when?
Jones, who captured the UFC heavyweight title in March 2023 by defeating Kirill Gain, has only defended it once against the out-of-prime Stipe Miocic. Meanwhile, Aspinal stormed through the division, claiming the interim belt with a knockout victory over Sergey Pavlovich. His subsequent win over Curtis Blades further solidified his place as the division's top contender. With Aspinall's rapid rise and dominant performances, many believe he poses the toughest challenge of Jones's career, making the potential fight one of the most anticipated heavyweight clashes in UFC history.
Jon Jones, you don't know where you stand. Dana said it's the biggest fight in UFC history now, so...
Yeah, I've had enough talking about it, mate. I'm honestly bored of it. We'll see what happens. Yeah, we'll just see. I'm ready to fight whenever they tell me, so just let me know. I'll be there.
Everyone thinks you're a bit of like a quintessential good guy. Could we see a heel turn at some point in the MMA world?
We might do. Who knows? Who knows?
Despite the excitement surrounding the matchup, recent reports suggest that Jones's interest in fighting Aspinall remains uncertain. Rumors indicate that he has made additional demands to the UFC, leading some to believe he may be looking for an exit strategy rather than actively pursuing a title defense. While Jones has long been considered one of the greatest fighters in the sport's history, there is growing concern that avoiding Aspinall could tarnish his legacy. Fans and analysts alike argue that retiring without facing the British powerhouse could leave lingering doubts about how he would have fared against the new generation of heavyweights.
He wants 6 months. He says the clock is ticking on a summer showdown. I was told that Jones wants 6 months to prepare for the fight once it's locked in. And what's 6 months from now? September? Now I'm sure money talks, but it feels like the summer. If that's the goal, then that is starting to slip away. Now, far be it from Ariel Helwani to put anything negative out there when it comes to the UFC. He would never dream of doing that, of course.
Adding to the speculation is UFC President Dana White's firm stance that the fight will happen in 2025. He has repeatedly assured fans that the unification bout is inevitable, though some remain skeptical given past instances where planned fights fell apart. White's guarantee has provided some reassurance, but the longer the delay continues, the more uncertainty surrounds the division.
And you were talking about Tom and John. Tom released that video blog a few days ago on the train where he was saying like John's side is holding up the fight. What is he referring to there?
Well, I think that, listen, Jon Jones definitely wants to fight. Just when and where is what we're working on now.
Do you feel confidence? I think you said John.
I'm very
in
confident
summer on first
that fight happens. Yeah.
Summer.
Yeah.
Daniel Cormier, a former two-division champion and longtime rival of Jones, has weighed in on the situation as well. He doesn't necessarily believe Jones is afraid of Aspinall, but rather sees him as someone who enjoys playing mind games with the public. Cormier has suggested that Jones might be intentionally leaning into the narrative that he is avoiding the fight, knowing that it fuels conversation and keeps his name relevant. He believes Jones is in a position where he doesn't need to fight anymore unless the circumstances align perfectly in his favor. Cormier said, "Money's good." Jones is like, "Even if you bring me the money, the timing is what I need to fight this guy." Why? Do you think that he's just kind of steering into this whole, he just doesn't want to fight Tom Aspinall thing? Because Tom Aspinall was celebrating after Pereira lost because he felt like Jon Jones could not use Alex Pereira anymore as a crutch to try to make that fight. While some critics argue that Jones is stalling, others point out that at 37 years old, he may genuinely need more time to prepare for such a dangerous opponent. Moving up to heavyweight was already a significant challenge, and facing a fighter as well-rounded as Aspinall requires meticulous preparation. Jones has always been known for taking his training seriously, and at this stage of his career, he may feel that he needs more time to ensure he is at his best. However, this reasoning does little to ease the frustration of those eager to see the fight take place sooner rather than later. Cormier further added, "They need to make this fight. I think John's kind of steering into this. I feel like John likes to play into people going, he's afraid of Tom Aspinall. He doesn't want to fight Tom Aspinall. He's not afraid of Tom Aspinall. He'll fight Tom Aspinall. I think he's messing around with people, man. I think it's fun for this dude. This dude made a lot of money and he's been the champion for so long that he really doesn't need to fight anybody anymore." Many in the MMA community have weighed in on the potential showdown between Jon Jones and Tom Aspinall, with opinions divided on how the fight would play out. Michael Bisping has been one of Aspinall's strongest supporters, often highlighting his exceptional speed and power. He believes Aspinall stands out as the most dangerous heavyweight in the division, and even sees him as the favorite against Jones, given his well-rounded skill set and ability to finish fights decisively.
He's the fastest, quickest, most powerful heavyweight on the planet. He's the favourite against Jon Jones, and no man alive can beat Tom Aspinall, in my humble opinion. And that's with the greatest of respect to Jon Jones.
Mick Parkin has also offered his perspective. While he respects Jones's accomplishments, he wonders if the champion still trains with the same intensity as he did in his prime. Parkin speculates that Jones's preparation may not be as rigorous as before, while Aspinall continues to refine his abilities and improve. He believes that if there were ever a time to defeat Jones, it would be now. With Aspinall's combination of size, speed, and movement, Parkin sees him as a serious problem for the reigning champion. He said, "Jon Jones is amazing. He's no easy challenge, but he's maybe not training as intense. I don't know this. This is completely guessing looking from the outside. It doesn't look like he trains as much. He's definitely a little bit older, and it's definitely the time to beat him, if there is a time. Tom is just going from strength to strength, and he's just the most dangerous guy. Just the way he moves and everything. He's a big guy, he's really, really fast, and he's coming into his prime now. I do think he'd beat Jon Jones." Francis Ngannou raised an interesting point regarding Jones's hesitance to take the fight. He questions whether the champion sees the bout as necessary from a career perspective, or if he is more concerned with financial incentives. In Ngannou's view, this fight is far more crucial for Aspinall's legacy than for Jones's. He also presents an alternative scenario, asking fans whether they would prefer to see Jones face Aspinall or a striker like Alex Pereira. He argues that Aspinall presents the greater challenge because his grappling skills could test Jones in ways that a striking-focused fighter like Pereira would not.
He keeps saying he doesn't want Aspinall.
Aspinall need that fight. I don't need it. When you look at it, pretty much true. There's nothing that he's going to make winning that fight if it's not money. But for Aspinall, that will be everything.
Would you rather see him face Aspinall, or would you rather see him face Pereira?
Aspinall will be a more challenging fight because Aspinall respond to a ground game better than Pereira. Aspinall will respond better in wrestling than Pereira. He can do whatever he wants.
John O'Malley has taken a broader approach to the discussion, stating that regardless of what happens, Jones's status as one of the sport's all-time greats is already secure. However, he acknowledges that if Aspinall were to defeat Jones, it would inevitably spark debates about whether age played a role in Jones's decline or if Aspinall was simply the superior fighter.
Tom Aspinall? God damn. It's like you risk going down as no matter what, you don't have to fight again. Greatest of all time, people will say that. You're the greatest of all time. Greatest of all time, Jon Jones. Or you risk it, go fight Tom Aspinall, possibly lose, and then it's like, he was the greatest. Then they're saying, yeah, but he wasn't in his prime.
Not everyone shares this belief, though. Former UFC heavyweight champion Cain Velasquez remains skeptical of Aspinall's chances. Having analyzed the Brit's fighting style, Velasquez sees patterns in Aspinall's striking that Jones could easily exploit. He points to Jones's meticulous approach to studying his opponents, breaking down their techniques, and neutralizing their strengths. Given Jones's history of systematically dismantling his competition, Velasquez doubts that Aspinall would be the one to dethrone him. He said, "No, I don't think he does beat Jon Jones." So me just watching him, I kind of see his pattern a little bit in his striking, the way he comes in and strikes. I think Jon sees it too. So I think with that, just cause Jon studies, he does his homework. He's a master at this. He analyzes things. He studies you over and over again. I think just for that reason, he's gonna know what to do. So I don't think Aspinall beats Jon. Curtis Blades, who previously fought Aspinall, has a different take. He believes that for Jones to truly cement his legacy as a heavyweight, facing Aspinall is a necessity. Blades, who has first-hand experience with Aspinall's striking, sees him as a unique challenge compared to the fighters Jones has previously encountered. Drawing a comparison to Dominic, who gave Jones one of his toughest fights, Blades argues that Aspinall's skill set could present similar problems, particularly given Jones's lack of knockout power at heavyweight.
Aspinall is a guy that could give Jon a lot of problems.
Yeah, he's very fast, he's very athletic, and hits hard enough, and he's actually like a smart heavyweight. He's not just out there just spinning, moving. He's like setting things up. He understands footwork. He understands how to set up a takedown. He's not one thing I noticed with John, this is a bonus to him. He takes advantage of like easy stuff.
Kamaru Usman also considers Aspinall the biggest test for Jones in the division, but believes that the decision to take the fight extends beyond just competition. At this point in his career, Usman suggests that Jones must factor in financial incentives before committing to such a high-risk bout. While Aspinall presents a dangerous challenge, Jones may be weighing whether the reward is worth the risk.
You hit the nail on the head. I do think Tom Aspinall is the most dangerous heavyweight right now. 100% the biggest threat to pry that belt away from John Jones. But John has got to get that bag. Gets that bag.
30 million Kush.
Wait. You keep saying 30. Don't be counting the man's pockets like that. Hey, relax.
No, it's already, the word's already out there, man. People can't keep their mouth shut. 30 million?
Israel Adesanya has also spoken about the fight, expressing admiration for Aspinall's skills while acknowledging the potential advantage Jones would have in grappling. While Adesanya sees the fight as unpredictable, he believes Jones's extensive wrestling experience could be a decisive factor in neutralizing Aspinall's striking ability.
But Aspinall, he and his dad, cool dudes, lovely guys as well. But he's the same height as me, if not an inch taller, but thick. And I was like, you're a lot thicker than I would expect. And the speed, that's the thing that I'm like, okay, that's the danger. But again, grappling, he's a black belt. John is different. But I don't know, man. They gotta fight, but if they don't ever fight, we'll never know.
Frank Mir shares a similar viewpoint, recognizing Aspinall's danger as a striker, but ultimately favoring Jones due to his dominance in grappling. Mir believes that Jones's ground control and relentless ground and pound would be difficult for Aspinall to counter. However, regardless of the fight's outcome, he asserts that Jones's legacy as one of the greatest fighters of all time remains intact.
I think Tom might have the best chance of anybody to beat John right now. But that being said, I still think John wins the fight just because of his wrestling. I think he puts, Tom on his back and is able to nullify his jiu-jitsu from being top position with his elbows and control. What does John win to take that fight? He goes out there and beats Tom. Is it really going to make or break his career? I don't think anybody cares.
Dricus du Plessis has mixed feelings about the potential matchup. He acknowledges Aspinall's rapid rise and believes he is the future of the division. However, he also respects Jones's legacy and feels the longtime champion deserves to retire without a loss in a title fight. Though he sees the fight as inevitable, he admits it is difficult to root for either fighter to lose.
Aspinall is young, he's hungry. You have Jones, who is definitely at the end of his career, 38 years old. I don't need to see this because he's never been beaten. So I don't need to see John Jones fight Aspinall because I don't want either one of them to lose. I want John Jones to retire unbeaten. Of course, he had that DQ for 12-6, which is now legal, but unbeaten and the legend that he is. And I want him to retire and Aspinall goes on to be the next big thing.
Stipe Miocic looks at the fight from a strategic standpoint. He recognizes Aspinall's abilities, but stresses the importance of patience when facing an opponent as experienced as Jones. Miocic believes that rushing in aggressively would play into Jones's hands, as he has repeatedly capitalized on his opponent's mistakes throughout his career.
If that matchup does get booked with him and John Jones, what's the best advice you'd give Tom Aspinall?
Don't do what I did.
Avoid the liver shot.
Yeah, what are you gonna do? But I think Tommy, that guy, he's super tough and he hits hard. He moves well. He's a big man. I think that he stays calm on the situation, and whatever happens, he just stays calm. I think he'll be fine. He picks his shots. He's smart what he does, and I think he'll do fine.
As time passes, the pressure continues to mount on Jones to either commit to the fight or step away from the division entirely. If he chooses to vacate the belt, it would allow Aspinall to fully claim the title and continue defending it against the next wave of challengers. However, if Jones ultimately agrees to the bout, it will set the stage for a monumental clash that could define the future of the heavyweight division. For now, the situation remains unresolved, with Jones holding all the cards. His next move will determine not only the fate of the division, but also how his legacy is remembered. Whether he is genuinely preparing for the fight or simply delaying the inevitable, fans and fighters alike are eager for a resolution. Until then, the waiting game continues. So what are your thoughts about this? Do let us know in the comment section below. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to subscribe and check out some of our other videos on the screen right now.